Welcome into another episode of Going Back and Catching Up. I am Dan Austin, and this time it's not somebody from the country music world, but it's somebody I've admired for a very long time. Oscar-nominated actress Elisabeth Shue. You probably remember her most for Karate Kid, Adventures in Babysitting, and Leaving Las Vegas. Most recently, she's in a movie with Nick Jonas and Brittany Snow called The Good Half. You may also know her for CSI, which she was on for a few years. But to me, she'll always be one of my first celebrity crushes. So let's go back and catch up with Elisabeth Shue. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing real good. Thrilled to talk to you.
Oh, thank you.
I got to come forward with a confession. You're probably one of my biggest celebrity crushes when I was growing up. And I'm sure you get that a lot.
No, I'm not. I'm always just so amazed. Really, it's I'm very honored. It's like also like my generation, you know. It's like whenever there's people that are close to my age that grew up with my movies, it's just a nice bonding experience.
Well, you had Karate Kid, and then you're into the Back to the Future movies, and Adventures in Babysitting was a big one. Then Cocktail, you're kind of the girl next door. Then all of a sudden, bam, Leaving Las Vegas. You grew up in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so lucky. I mean, I was lucky that I got to play that part, for sure. It was such a departure, shall we say, from the other parts. But I'm still grateful. I'm still grateful that, you know, every once in a while, you know, you look back at your career and everybody always wants to do more different parts. And yet, you know, you always just have to be grateful for the parts that you got. And I feel incredibly grateful that a lot of the movies kind of have, they stand the test of time. My kids have been able to watch them. Another generation of kids have watched them. So it's a nice connection that I get to have with people.
Now, you mentioned those movies and the thrill of getting to do those. Was there, if you could have only been in one movie, let's just set that stage. If there was just one movie and that's the one you had to pick, which one would you have wanted to have been in?
Well, I guess it would be a toss-up between, if I only get one, maybe Leaving Las Vegas, and then I guess Adventures in Babysitting, just because that was so special. Because it was my first starring role, and it was something that actually worked well and that has stood the test of time. Yeah, I would say those two. I'd pick one of those.
Do you ever get asked to do that one line from Adventures in Babysitting? Don't you know what with the babysitter?
I love that line. I know. You know, at the time, my dad wrote me a letter saying that I should tell them to like change that it wasn't a good thing because kids all over the world would watch the movie and then they would think it was okay to say that word. Isn't that funny? And I told him, I was like, well, I'm using the word to protect them, but I'm not using it myself as the character. I'm trying to just protect my kids. But isn't that funny that my dad was like so against that one line, and it's my favorite line.
Now, I don't know if people have the same reaction, like, oh, just, you know, we hear that all the time. But in the 80s, in that scenario, it was like, whoa, what did Elisabeth Shue just say?
No, I know. And, you know, cut to my son who watched it when he was about 5. And he was running around saying that line. He thought it was so funny. So I guess my dad had a point, but.
Hey, Mom. If you could pick one movie role that you were never offered, which one would you wish you were? Let me rephrase that. Which one do you wish you would have been offered that you had not been offered?
Well, it's funny. The first one that just popped in my brain, but I'm sure there are tons. There are probably tons of them. I really wanted to be in Forrest Gump. I really love that movie. And I love Robin Wright. She was awesome. I don't think anyone could have been better than her. But I remember wanting to be in that really badly.
You wanted to be Jen A?
Yes.
I love it. You could have been Jen A.
I know. I missed out.
And also a shout out to Call to Glory, because that was like one of my favorite shows when I was a kid, watching you in that. So,
wow.
Kind of one of those underrated ones that I'm sure you get once in a while, but not often enough.
No, not often enough. That's my favorite. That was my first role of all. Like I'd never acted really before, just doing commercials. That was the first one. So that one means a lot to me. Love Craig T. Nelson.
Yes. Yeah, he's definitely an icon for sure. Well, I've got some Shue trivia that I wanted to put you through real quick. Have a little fun here before you head out, okay?
Sure.
Okay, if you wanted to go home, what movie shoes would you have on?
If I wanted to go home, what movie shoes? Oh, I see. Like the ruby slippers?
Yeah, there you go.
I'd have my clay court tennis shoes on.
Why's that?
Oh, I don't know. An obsessive tennis player. I love tennis, probably as much or not more than acting. So yeah, I would have to have my tennis shoes on.
Which is fitting because you were in the Battle of the Sexes, so that makes sense. Next
Yes.
question. What TV show that then later became a movie was a shoe phone used in? They
Get
talked
Smart?
right into the. Yeah, very good. Okay, you're 2 for 2. Two more. What is the best-selling sneaker of all time?
Ooh. Oh, the best selling sneaker of all time. Well, like the Converse, the Converse sneaker, you know, like the high top,
No, that's
is it a
not it.
Converse?
Think famous
No.
basketball player.
Michael Jordan? Air Jordan?
Yeah, there you go. Air Jordans.
Yes, that makes sense.
Lastly, what shoes, this is a trick question, could be considered religious because of their looks, but you could also find them in a zoo?
Oh my goodness. Oh my horseshoes. No, I don't know. What?
Crocs, because they're holy.
Oh, okay. You got
Sorry.
it.
I know. It was
Wow.
pretty lame. It was pretty lame.
Okay.
Well, hey, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I won't take up any more of your time. It was a pleasure. Take care.